So today we will be making this backpack with its large main compartment. It's also got really nice and clean aesthetics. And on the back side, of course, we got our shoulder straps, and you also get an additional handle. As always, let's make that, shall we?
So for this build we'll need a few pieces for the shoulder strap, some pieces to connect our shoulder strap. Then we also have the handles and the padding that will go over it. Lastly, a piece for the zipper and our two bottom pieces and our outer shell. And using some white glue, I first start by gluing the bottom pieces together, and the smaller piece should go on the larger piece with the flash sides facing each other. Then we just press that down and leave it to dry while we continue with the other things. Then we go on with our shoulder connectors, where I'll use a French skiver to thin out a little bit of one of them. And this is the one that we'll use for the shoulder straps on the top. And after we've done that, we can just start gluing together the shoulder straps and put in the ring in each of them. Then we want to assemble our handle and the top part of the shoulder straps. For that again I will apply glue to the cover, one of our strap attachments and to the handle. And then on our cover piece I will glue the handle on the outsides and then one of our strap connectors in the middle. Then we take the other two strap connectors and just bevel and burnish them before we attach them to our outer shell. Also bevel and burnish our handle piece with the other strap attachment, and I'll also punch the holes, but we will not be sewing that on just yet because we'll need to do first other steps first. And while I'm already here, I'll also quickly bevel and burnish the side edges of our outer shell, but this one is also kind of optional because it will be hidden by the cross stitch later on. And then we continue to prepare our button after it's dried. So we first want to stitch the support into the other bottom piece. So I'll just go around, punch that, and then we continue to assemble the things. And again here, just give it a quick bevel and burnish before we punch the holes that will later be used to attach the bottom to the outer shell. Then, accordingly, I will also punch the stitch line on the bottom of our outer shell that will be attached to the bottom, and I will also be punching the holes on the side. And for this one, I'm using also 4mm stitching tool. I'm using my round hole punches because generally I feel like for cross stitching they just look a little bit better. Then I also take my template again and also punch the holes where we will attach the handle with the other strap attachment. Now that we have all the pieces prepared, we can actually start with some assembly. So I'll first start stitching together the ends of our outer shell, for which I'm using a cross stitch, and I will just be doing that all the way from the top to the bottom. After that, we can then also add our handle and the top cord attachments. And to keep our stitching momentum going, we can also continue with the bottom, where I marked the middle stitch of our bottom piece, and then I will use that as a first stitch and also use the one at the end on the bottom, and then go around clockwise all the way until the end. And if you did everything right, the holes should also line up perfectly. Then, to add a closure, I will start with our zipper, where first I will glue the zipper to our closure piece and then stitch the zipper in place. After we punch the 2 holes for the rivet, we can also apply glue to our main body and the zipper piece to put the zipper on the backpack on the top. I do it this way because I prefer to have my seams glued together, because it also makes it longer lasting and weather resistant, but it also makes punching the holes a bit more tricky. So if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can also just punch the holes on the backpack and the zipper individually and then just stitch it together without any gluing. But otherwise, I will also show you here how I do it to stitch the stitch lines after I have glued them together. especially when doing the backside, you want to be a little bit careful you don't punch through your handle. So I just tuck that piece in and then put it on the edge of my punching board and then continue as normal. We stitch that up, we can start beveling, burnishing our top seam, and I'll also do a little bit of sanding because there are some rough edges. And then we're already moving towards the finish line, but we're still missing a couple shoulder straps for a backpack. So for the lower part of the straps, I just use a circle punch to round off the edges, and then punch all the necessary holes so that we can add our swivel hook on the other. Then we secure all of that with a couple of rivets, and we can move on to the other part of the shoulder straps. To finish, I'm just gonna again use my hole punch, and then with my knife cut off the excess, punch the other holes, round off the corners a little bit, and basically good to go. And for this build, I didn't bevel and burnish the edges of the shoulder strap because I preferred a little bit rougher look, but of course if you prefer it the other way, then you can also use it. And of course we also need a couple more holes for our buckles, so I'll just punch that and then we can start assembling it. Now we take the top shoulder straps and put them through the D-ring on top and secure everything again with a couple of rivets. Put in our lower part for these shoulder straps and attach these swivel hooks to the other D-rings. And generally then we're done already, but I didn't like that the shoulder straps are flapping around a little bit. So I just also cut these two additional little pieces and I just wrapped them around the lower part of the shoulder straps, and again just use another rivet to secure them in place so the shoulder straps also look a little bit more pretty. So I do hope you liked it, and as always I really appreciate it if you leave a comment, like the video and subscribe if you want to see more of it. And with that, I would say, see you next time.